The deadliest bug type, Beedrill. Yeah, Beedrill is my favorite bug Pokemon. It's one of my favorite Pokemon ever. It is like at the top. Depending on the day or my mood, the very top changes, but Beedrill is always like right there. So let's see. A very beautiful forest right here. So let's see what we hear about Beedrill.
Welcome back to PokéNational Geographic's first episode of 2024.
Okay.
My name is Professor Ginkgo, and today we're exploring the wondrous landscapes of Viridian Forest.
Okay, we're in
Many
Viridian.
trainers
Alright.
tend to pass through the forest on distinctly marked paths. However, a majority of the forest's grand foliage is untouched by humans due to the incredible number of territorial Beedrill that call this place home. Beedrill is a large bug and poison type Pokemon with two sets of wings, a large antenna for sensing their environment, and two massive compound
Oh yeah,
eyes
like,
that
would you
give
call it
nearly
two sets of wings? So that's
360
four
degree
sets of
vision.
wings.
This incredible
I don't know how
sight aids
that gets
Beedrill when
classified,
navigating
actually.
at high speeds because it allows them to easily search for food while avoiding predators like Pidgeot or Scyther. To defend themselves and their colonies from these threats, Beedrill are heavily armed with physical and chemical weaponry.
And they have numbers.
Its large forelimbs have developed into cone-shaped
I like how it
stingers
looks.
paired with their own
It looks
venom.
great.
These stingers are capable of delivering
I wonder how he
powerful
does this, if he
poison-type
takes...
attacks, like poison sting or poison jab, and its abdomen even features
Because it
a
looks
third stinger
great.
should an attack come from behind.
Okay.
These venomous weapons, however, have an alternate use. Unlike its closely related cousin,
Yeah, they use them as pillows.
Beedrill doesn't subsist solely on nectar and honey because this Pokemon is a predator.
Yeah,
Beedrill
it's a
preys
hornet.
on smaller bug-type Pokemon such as Caterpie or Venonat, and uses
Even though I
its
don't know
venom
if
to
hornets
incapacitate its prey.
themselves actually eat, like the
Afterwards, they
adult
bring
hornets.
their
I don't know if
prized
they
kill
eat
back
meat.
to the colony for consumption and storage.
But I do know that they're
The
young.
predation of leaf-eating bug-type Pokemon within its home range not only provide Beedrill with meals, but also transforms the forest it resides in by reducing consumption of nearby plants.
Yeah.
Therefore, leaving
Reduce
plenty
the
left
prey
over for
animals.
the next generation of Beedrill as they start their life as herbivorous Weedles.
So in the Pokemon world, it's changed up. It starts from herbivorous
Hey everyone,
to
it's Emus from
predatory.
Emus Entertainment, and I just quickly wanted to give a huge shout out to Geek Ecology. If you don't
All
know
right.
who they are, it's kind of in the name. Geek Ecology is an ecologist who focuses on geek-related creatures. They reached out to write the script for this episode, and of
Okay.
course I said yes. If you want more content related to the science and ecological life of Pokemon or
I'll
other
check them
fantasy
out.
type
Never heard of
creatures
them
from
before.
Video games and media, go check them out. I'm gonna tag their TikTok and YouTube below, but if you want a specific suggestion, then may I suggest the I Love Snake Pokemon video that
Alright, here we go. Alright, I mean, I'll check them out. Yeah, this one was great. I like the you're not really seeing like action parts of the Pokemon. It's just the Pokemon, you know, in the natural habitat. I like that we're seeing that is someone like hiding in the forest with probably like a long lens that can. The person filming is probably way away, or maybe they have like camo netting on and stuff. You really get that feel from these. So yeah, so far the first two that I've seen, I really like them, and I really like this interpretation of Beedrill in real life. Sometimes I see them and they're not like fuzzy. I like the fuzziness. To kind of show that they probably would work pretty well as pollinators, you know, instead of just being completely smooth. Because not all hornets are not pollinators. I think there's kind of like that not misinterpretation, what is it called? Misjudgment that hornets do not pollinate. They do. And then you'll say, well, what type of hornet are you talking about? But yeah. So one interesting thing about Beedrill is that it's kind of like the inverse of like real life hornets, where the young, like the larvae stage, eats a lot of meat, while the adults eat a lot of nectar and and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. Then obviously it probably changes depending on species, but I think that's the case. And I've been really, well, not necessarily hornets, because I haven't seen many hornets this year. This year I've seen a lot and lots of different types of bees. Not just honeybees, but just bees that I've never seen before, don't recognize at all. So they're obviously some wild bees. And the problem with wild bees is that they often are solitary bees. Because I think when we think of bees, we think of like a big hive. But I think that is kind of like the minority of bee species to have a hive. I think most are like solitary bees. But now when our balcony garden has kind of like expanded a lot, there's a lot, like the tomatoes in the garden got so many bees. And I think it also helped the fact that in that there was like a dill plant that I let go to seed and all that. Even though I never saw actual bee or bumblebee go to that dill plant, I think maybe it attracted them to the others. But to be fair, this is also the first year we grew tomatoes. Because previous years when I've just had a few chili plants, I saw bees, but it was mostly the honeybees from the local like honey farmers, because there's a ton of like hives like that people have. Now I don't think there are hives for honey, because there's a lot of people having I think the English name is like an allotment near the graveyard. There's like a graveyard and an allotment to grow food and all that quite near each other, and right there's a lot of like hives, and there's also a fuck ton of like bee hotels around these parts, which is pretty cool. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to check out the Deadliest bug type Beedrill. I don't know if I showed this in the beginning, but it's by Elias Entertainment and it's in the description.